kind of when I was climbing the ladder to be a race pilot. And when I got up and had everybody around me was comfortable with me, I wasn't comfortable with myself. So when I made the decision that I was not the pilot to fly this airplane, my excitement started to wane a bit. So along with the wind issue on 2010, we had a beautifully prepped airplane. We were ready to go and be a top 3 guy or the winner. And that rubbed me wrong, I will say. I was very, very disappointed in the time and effort we put in and didn't get an opportunity to race. And then of course, 2011, don't need to say anything about that. And we came home and I just said basically I'd had enough. I didn't think we were going to come back. I really thought that I would either put it in a container and my grandchildren could ask what that thing is or fight over it or whatever, or sell it. I did go to the race in 2012 for one day and had a miserable time. I was a man without an island. Steve Lamb called me one day and was wanting to get a car moved for his son up to Utah. So Steve drove the car over, David Reed flew over, and it was my first time being with those guys, in a year or so, and I had just such a good time. We drank a little, ate a little, lied a lot. It was just a fun time, and I missed that. And basically, we got the band back together. This year, we had time to build 2 full race motors. I've been working on that for 17 years. The only difference in the 2 is the heads are a little purer in the race engine. So that was the only difference in the engine. Same horsepower, same everything. We put a call into Steve and asked him that we're thinking about going racing. Would he be interested, if we did, to fly the airplane? And he called us back and said he would love to do it and he'd love to be involved. And what day do I get to come up? Steve Hinton, it brings more than just his piloting ability. Steve Hinton brings his work ethic and his knowledge how to work on these airplanes. Frank Young told me, he said, this guy's worth $1 million. I said, I don't have $1 million. But he just came in here and spent 3 days a week working hard. He would break for lunch and go right back to work and work late into the evenings. So he really, he's worth $1 million. And of course, he can fly. We talked about nothing of the past, only about the future and what our goals and objectives were. We stepped in here like it never missed a beat. Everybody just got right back in cadence and away we went. Frankie, he's probably got 12,000 hours working on this airplane, so he knows it in and out. Mike Wilton was here building the engines. Bill Kirchenfott, when he could, come back and forth. Steve Lamb, Bernie Vasquez, David Reed, J.C. Calkins, John Bond, the chef. Everybody's back here and we're back at it again. The airplane was in good shape. We pulled the tail off. Not off, but we disassembled quite a bit. And we found a couple things that we didn't like, real minor, so we repaired those. And the airframe actually was in good shape. One thing that I was unaware of, that the manganese in the fuel started rusting the engine. So that was the biggest blow, I guess, to me when we started the disassembling process. We lost a few bearings, but it just required 150 man-hours to clean the rust off all the parts. We went with the sole purpose of 2 race engines, 500 on Monday, do the engine swap, race Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and do what we can to win the thing and not beat ourselves. I wanted to qualify at over 500 on the 50th anniversary of the race. Didn't do it. There's no room for second guessing yourself. You have to go and throw everything at it that you have. My joke has been the last 2 or 3 years with Strega that it was going to be the battle of the toolboxes. Whoever had the best engine is going to win. The airplanes are pretty similar, and it's who's going to have an engine that lives. Because you remember 2003, 4, 5, 6, the Merlins were really struggling because we had some people that were doing things that didn't work. And that's when everybody said Seafarers are the future of air racing. Well, now the Mustangs are still on top and the Seafarers are gotten less and less. And we've got parts, so we're good for a while. Relieved, absolutely relieved. I don't think I said hoorah once. I was just relieved. Frank Young, again, 12,000 hours working on this thing. He yelled for 2 days. Steve Hinton yelled for 2 days. All the guys yelled, and you know, I was excited. I hugged Frank, hugged all the guys, but to me it was not a sense of jubilation. It was more of a sense of relief. We got involved with this thing. We didn't really realize what it took, the finite part of what it took. And I made some horrible decisions along the way, but we learned. Even the mistakes that I made, one thing that I did do is I formulated a great group of people and a wonderful crew, and now, you know, there's nobody can touch us on the ramp. We've got some very, very talented people. This is what I know for sure, that we haven't counted anything out. If the race happens again in September, we'll be there. If it doesn't, we will probably go and try the high-speed records that are held, I believe, by Dago and Rare Bear. But we're gonna do something cool at max power. No, we're gonna just freshen our engines back up, and you know, we talked about boil off and about these other things, and the only thing I'd like to see is I'd like to see the purple one and the red and white one side by side down the chute on Sunday. Really have, I wouldn't say a fairer fight, but the gloves would be off, you know. It's very interesting, you know, you're one event a year, you get 1 week, and you have to wait 51 weeks to right that wrong. So you think about it a little bit all the time. You know, there's something about that June, July, get ready for Reno type of thing, and that's when the people that say that I've had enough, I'm done, I'm not coming back, that's when you'll hear them start talking about it. In the past, they've always been back. It's a rough drill, you know, it's probably 3 months of hard work, and then to be up there in the weather and, you know, 5,000 feet versus sea level here, and the wind and the sun, and, you know, by the time we get home, we're pretty well wrung out. I've left there very depressed before. I just again want to thank my crew for just doing a fabulous job, sacrificing all the time they did to run the 2-engine program. I'm one of 16. And I don't think if I'm number one that I have any more value than number 16. It's a group effort. And again, we have a very talented, fun group of people. I mean, this is supposed to be fun, and it's been some trials and tribulations for me, but perseverance, and you know, I had a goal, and it's just taken me a long while to get there.